Hi, Dave here from compulove, KWPC Repair Services, and today I've got a real dandy for you. The pointing hand cursor is a ubiquitous feature of modern graphical user interfaces, GUIs, instantly recognizable as the symbol for interactivity. Whether browsing the web, navigating an application, or using an operating system, this small yet essential icon guides users, indicating that an element is clickable. Despite its modest appearance, the pointing hand cursor has a rich history and has evolved alongside the development of GUIs and the internet. This brief informational video, taken directly from the compulove blog, delves into the origins, history, and evolution of the pointing hand cursor, tracing its journey from early computing to its modern form. The origins of the pointing hand cursor. The concept of a visual indicator for interactivity predates the invention of a personal computer, rooted in early computing experiments and the development of graphical user interfaces. However, the pointing hand cursor as we know it today is largely a product of the evolution of the GUI and the rise of the World Wide Web. Early GUIs and the mouse pointer. The graphical user interface began to take shape in the 1970s, most notably at Xerox PARC, Palo Alto Research Center. Researchers at the Xerox PARC developed the Xerox Alto, one of the first computers to use a GUI. The Alto introduced the concept of the mouse pointer, an arrow-shaped cursor that could be moved across the screen to interact with graphical elements. This innovation laid the foundation for modern GUIs and the eventual introduction of the pointing hand cursor. In 1984, Apple revolutionized the personal computing world with the release of the Macintosh, which featured a user-friendly GUI. The Macintosh's interface was intuitive and visually oriented, with the mouse pointer playing a central role in user interaction. However, the pointing hand cursor itself was not yet a standard feature. The default cursor was still the arrow that users moved across the screen. The rise of the World Wide Web. The invention of the World Wide Web in 1989 by Sir Tim Berners-Lee marked a significant turning point in the evolution of the pointing hand cursor. Berners-Lee's vision of a global information system hinged on the idea of hypertext, text that could be linked to other texts or resources. To navigate this interconnected web of information, users needed a way to identify clickable links. The first web browser, World Wide Web, later named Nexus, displayed these links in a plain text format with no visual cues other than underlining to indicate their interactivity. It wasn't until later that the idea of a dedicated cursor for links was introduced. The Mosaic browser and standardization. In 1993, the Mosaic web browser was released by the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, or NCSA. Mosaic was the first browser to gain widespread popularity, and it played a crucial role in shaping the web as we know it. One of its most significant contributions was the introduction of the pointing hand cursor to indicate clickable links. The pointing hand cursor in Mosaic was a simple yet effective way to signal interactivity. When users hovered over a hyperlink, the cursor would change from the standard arrow to a pointing hand, making it clear that the link could be clicked to navigate to another page or a resource. This visual cue quickly became the standard feature in web browsers and was adopted across various platforms. The evolution of the pointing hand cursor. Since its introduction in the Mosaic browser, the pointing hand cursor has evolved in tandem with advances in technology and user interface design. While its basic function has remained consistent, its appearance and implementation have undergone several changes. Customization and theming. As operating systems and browsers became more sophisticated, users gained the ability to customize their cursor themes. This included the pointing hand cursor, which could be altered in appearance to suit personal preferences or accessibility needs. Customization options allowed users to choose different styles, sizes, and colors for their cursors, although the default hand shape remained a universal symbol for clickability. The cursor in modern operating systems. Today, the pointing hand cursor is an integral part of all major operating systems, including Windows, macOS, and Linux. While the cursor's design may vary slightly across platforms, its function as an indicator of interactivity remains unchanged. The cursor has also been adapted for high-resolution displays and touch interfaces, ensuring that it remains clear and visible on a wide range of devices. In modern web development, the pointing hand cursor is controlled through CSS, aka cascading style sheets. Developers use the cursor::pointer: property to specify that an element, such as a link or a button, should display the pointing hand when hovered over. This has allowed for more precise and consistent implementation of the cursor across different websites and applications. Adapting to new technologies. With the advent of touchscreens and gesture-based interfaces, the role of the pointing hand cursor has been somewhat diminished on mobile devices, where direct touch replaces the need for a cursor. However, it remains a staple of desktop computing and continues to serve as a key visual cue for interactivity in non-touch environments. In virtual and augmented reality, VR and AR environments, the concept of a cursor is evolving further, with new forms of interaction being developed to replace traditional mouse-based inputs. Despite these changes, the underlying principle of providing users with a clear indication of interactive elements remains a fundamental aspect of user interface design. Conclusion. The pointing hand cursor may seem like a small and simple element of the user interface, but its history and evolution reflect broader trends in computing and web design. From its early days in the Mosaic browser to its current role in modern operating systems, the pointing hand cursor has remained a vital tool for guiding users through digital environments. As technology continues to evolve, the pointing hand cursor may adapt to new forms of interaction, but its legacy as a symbol of interactivity is assured. Whether you're clicking a link, navigating a menu, or interacting with a web application, the pointing hand cursor is a reminder of how far we've come in making technology accessible and intuitive for users worldwide.